And it's time for another edition of Throwdown Thursday night as Terrence Jackson and the Mammoth are bringing it to LA to face George Burrell and the Reign, who are still winless on this young season. We're coming to you live on Throwdown Thursday night. I am your boy in the booth, Skip Lloyd, and like I said, we are here in LA, ready to see this thing get underway. Beautiful night for football. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. Like we said, the Reign are 0-3, the Mammoth 1-2. Both teams could use a little help getting off the slide here, but Vancouver showed up big last week against the Firebirds in Mexico City. So I think they're ready to rock. Meanwhile, the Reign are going to get the ball first, and boy, they'll take any help they can get. Return getting stopped just short of the 20. George Burrell, superstar quarterback for Los Angeles, had an okay start to the season. 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He is the leading rusher at quarterback so far on the season. But right now, they'll take anything to get a win. 1st and 10 out of the shotgun. Burrell fakes the handoff, throws in, it's tipped right away. Was that Finch from the linebacker spot? I'm not sure who swatted that away. We are looking at a noticeable inactive Evan Woodard, the starting halfback for the Mammoth, sidelined, which means we're seeing more of the rookie. But right now we're looking at the Reign 2nd and 10. They do hand it off out of the shotgun this time, trying to run right side off tackle and stop quickly for only a gain of 2 yards. That is 3rd and 8 here going out of the shotgun. Burrell got the snap, got time, pocket's holding up, he's gonna run, nope, throws it, dumps it off and incomplete. Hit him in the hands, was that Presley? Wow. Not a good look for the first drive for the Reign. That was Keegan Grant missing the catch there, hit him in the mitts. Meanwhile, the Mammoth taking the return on the punt, not getting too much out of it. And here is Glenn Huntington. Really kind of took everyone by surprise as he was traded right before the season started from the Brawlers. But meanwhile, he's looked pretty good. The Mammoth as a whole still figuring it out. But he has certainly looked good, especially last week. See if he can keep up that type of performance here tonight as he gets more and more comfortable with Coach Aaron Ward's system. Right away, ripping it and hitting that big rookie tight end who had himself a game last week. That's Bill Armstrong, top tight end taken in this year's draft. And Huntington has very quickly made a strong rapport with Armstrong. Meanwhile, a little bit of confusion in the backfield. Huntington letting it rip again. Complete. I think that's Nick Graham, the second-year receiver out of Michigan, who's also had a strong start to his season. Gotta love these Mammoth uniforms. Reign as well with those golden chrome domes, but really love the modern kind of tusk and ivory, just really sharp uniforms by our partners at the Boiled Frogs. 1st and 10, they've got the ball. And off to Josh Bromley. I forgot that they had signed Bromley. Bromley's a strong running back. Ended up being acquired in free agency, so the injury to Woodard is not as bad. Empty set, 2nd and 11 after a loss of 1. Huntington lets it rip again. That might be Brenton Branch, the Texas A&M receiver, 2nd-year player, drafted last year's draft. The first ever Football Rivals Pro draft, and you're watching Football Rivals Pro League here on Throwdown Thursday night on Rivals Broadcast Network. At 1st and 10, oh, intercepted! Huntington throws it, and they may walk it all the way home. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and he is gone! Touchdown, Los Angeles Reign! Donnell Minor, nothing minor about it, more like a major with the pick six. Major play right there, exactly how the Reign wanted to start this game, exactly how they needed to start this game, scoring fast and putting some pressure on this visiting Vancouver team. And the kick is up and through the uprights, no surprise there. Minor making a major play. 7-0 Los Angeles. They are feeling it. The home crowd is excited. They're going to kick the ball right back to Glenn Huntington, so let's see if they can do anything with it besides turn it over. Return getting out. Ooh, shy of the 15. Some great coverage by the kick team there. You know the touchback only gets you out to the 20 here at Football Rivals. So teams are more tempted to return it. But kickers are also trying to kick deliberately short of the end zone. Hands off to Mancuso, the rookie, but not going anywhere. The Reign defense starting to feel it early here in the first quarter. 9:40 left in the first. Shotgun set. Huntington fakes the handoff. Quarterback keeper finds some space off the edge and stretching forward for a tough gain of 6. Probably ran 15 yards to get 6, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. 3rd and 3. Ooh, looked like he got him to jump. Free play, and he's going to wing it. Doesn't matter. Pretty sure that's going to be an offsides penalty on the defense. Great heads-up veteran play by Huntington to try to just let one fly down the field. Why not? He knew it was going to be a free play. Smart QB there. Let's see what they do here. 1st and 10. Got a power set. Hand it off to Bromley. Finding space. Shaking the first tackler. Actually, no, I don't think that was. I think that was Morris Cannon out of Penn State. They're using all their backs so far tonight. It's the rookie out of Penn State. They got 2 rookie running backs on this team. Huntington finds a receiver, cutting across. That is Mancuso. Good old boy Glenn is feeling it so far, shaking off that interception. He's had a couple dots aside from that. 1st and 10. Fake the handoff to Bromley, checking it down. Fighting forward. 9 tough yards, but not enough for the Sticks. They're going to say inches short on that one. Staying in the power look here. Right up the gut. He's got it, and then 1 or 2 more. Bromley more yards through the air than on the ground so far, but I'm sure that will change. He is a hard-nosed runner. Fakes the handoff to Mancuso. Huntington feeling the pressure. Shakes off the first sack. Lets one rip and almost intercepted again. Glenn, you gotta be careful, buddy. Huntington threw 4 touchdowns last week against the Firebirds, and Bromley ran for 200 yards last week. So I think they're going to be relying on the run game again, but if they got to sling it, they feel comfortable. Man, what an offensive output last week as the holding call on Alani Sweet brings him back for a 2nd and 20. Huntington threw for 345 and 4 touchdowns, and Bromley ran for 200 yards. I mean, insane offensive output just from the 2 of them alone last week. Now we're looking at a 3rd and 16 as he crosses midfield. Third and 16. Huntington dropped back, hit as he throws it. That one lucky to be incomplete. Got absolutely rocked. Was looking for Nick Graham, but was never going to get him. From about their own 50 or the Reign 49. Punt is up. And they're kicking it out of bounds. Nice punt there. Here's George Burrell going to get his shot here. Yeah, nice punt there. Gets him inside the 15 around the 12-yard line. Burrell out of the shotgun. Hits the receiver in the flat. Not getting much. No completion, but no gain. 2nd and 10. Stay in shotgun. Sends a man in motion. Covered to uncovered, and he throws it out in the flat again. That's just a gain of 4. 3rd and 6. Los Angeles has the lead, but is not looking like it. Burrell getting harassed, runs into his own lineman. They're going to say he's still up. No, I think there was some confusion by Burrell. He thought he was down, but they didn't hear the whistle. So Wembley gets credit, I think, on a sack there. Very confusing turn of events. He gets up thinking the play was over, and then gets knocked right back down. Tough start for the Reign. Even with the pick 6, still looking a little lost on offense, which is absolutely crazy considering how well they performed last year. 13-4 record. Well, I don't want to say what could happen because it's way too early, but they won their division and made it to the divisional round of the playoffs last year. They're looking anything but like playoff contenders so far through these first 3 games and a quarter. Mammoth 1st and 10 from the 47. Bring a receiver in motion, play action, but he's never going to have time. Edison comes flying up the gut, untouched. Huntington said, yeah, you got me there. We didn't have the protection scheme to stop that one. He never had a chance. 2nd and 18. That man was bagged. Bromley getting wrapped up as well. Might be plastic for him. Huntington not loving it, trying to communicate with the sideline. Spreading it out, empty set here, 3rd and 20. Huntington trying to point out the pressure, checks it down quickly. They have space, he's going to get it for a 1st down and then some. Streaking up the sideline down to the 20-yard line. Absolutely huge play, and who else? Who else would he hit except for Jaden Moore? That looks like for a gain of 41 yards on the bubble screen, but everybody out there protecting. Got a wall of linemen, and you got the rookie tight end all blocking out in space for a massive pickup by Jaden Moore on that one. The number 1 receiver for the Mammoth. Huntington goes from a 3rd and 20 to a 1st and 10, finds Bromley, catches it, but he cannot stay up. He would have walked into the end zone if he didn't trip over his own shoelaces. 1st and 10 from around the 7. Mancuso, but only about a gain of a yard. Huntington still learning this offense. Hard to come over right at the start of the season and expect to have a big impact, but he absolutely has. He's certainly given them more right there. He hits Nick Graham. Touchdown. The Mammoth have tied this thing back up. And this Mammoth team, like I was saying, has absolutely looked improved with Glenn Huntington at quarterback, even if as a team they've taken a few losses and had some tough plays in this early season. He has looked outstanding at quarterback, so clearly that was the right call, trading for the QB. Andy Lilly led the league in interceptions last year, and they did not want to go into the season with that. Pulled the trigger right before kickoff of the regular season. Seemed to work out for everybody involved in that one so far. Return from the Reign, getting up to around the 16-yard line. Wow, only 6 passing yards for the Reign so far. Not a good look on offense through one quarter. They're going to get probably one play here unless it's an incompletion. Checks it down, and he does get the first. Is he short? No, they're going to give it to him. It's going to be a 1st down. Brown bringing that one in, and you're already through a quarter. Put your 2s up if you got them. I don't know if the commissioner's here, but if you're paying close attention, he might throw out some credits here on Throwdown Thursday night. Back at it. Burrell checks it down to the halfback. I believe that's actually Marlon Brown. More of a power back, but playing in the screen game there. 2nd and 1. 13:20 left here in the first half. Hands off to Marlon Brown. Finds space. Off tackle. Out. Up past the 50-yard line. Marlon Brown with a little bit of twinkle toe action here, which is not what he's known for. Usually just slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Ooh. Second and 10 out of the shotgun. Oh. Going for it there, but could not connect. Third and 10. Hope they don't stall out here. Empty set for George Burrell. He's running out of the pocket. Fires it, almost intercepted. Wow. Griffith coming up and making the stop from the linebacker spot on that one. Here we were talking about Jaden Moore, who caught that big pass for 40-some-odd yards earlier in the first quarter. Had himself a strong start to the season thanks to Glenn Huntington. Huntington has the ball under center, hands it off to Bromley, trying to juke the defender, but cannot make it stick. Only a gain of 2 on that one. We're getting reports Hugh Bush, the halfback for the Reign, may be out for the rest of the game. That's why we were seeing so much Marlon Brown on that last drive. Huntington flushed out of the pocket and just throwing it away. Smart play from a veteran quarterback, not wanting to take a sack this close to his own end zone. 3rd and 8, shotgun set, got a bunch trips left, spread a little bit out to wide. Tipped and almost intercepted again. Both quarterbacks taking some risks. I believe that's Enrique Costin for the Reign making the stop there. DB out of Colorado. Return, getting them close to the 50 there. Burrell coming back out. We're all tied up here in Los Angeles, and the Reign really need to assert themselves. Get off this slide to start the season. Play action, but Reyes knocks him on his back. Taylor Reyes looking like a man possessed. Absolutely dominating George Burrell, and Taylor Reyes is one of those underappreciated defensive linemen in this league. He is a force, and he's also one of our cover athletes for Rivals Pro 26, at least on the splash screen. Burrell, 2nd and 19, checks it down and incomplete. Defense getting their noses in there for Vancouver. We're now looking at a 3rd and 19. Burrell back. Getting pressured, and it's Reyes again, getting his 2nd sack on this drive. Taylor Reyes shooting his shot. Tossed an arrow to the upper deck there. Shooting him in the heart on this drive. As the punt is up and away. After 2 Taylor Reyes sacks, ruins that drive for the Reign. We see Josh Bromley's got 300 yards on the season. 200 of them came last week. He wasn't even on the team to start the season. They signed him when Woodard got injured, 2 weeks ago? Huntington play action, checks down. He's got him in space. He's got plenty of room up around the 40. Big catch and completion. That's Swain making a swell catch and run right there. JT Swain, and JT Swain is the rookie fullback out of Clemson. Known more as a blocker. But hey, they're getting everybody involved. Everybody eats here tonight. Bromley finally getting some space, shaking a few defenders off. Bromley is not a speed demon, but he is a bell cow. We got Smokey Smith in the chat, questioning how the teams the Brawlers have traded with are doing. Well, the Grunge are doing all right. The Mammoth doing okay. I guess depends on how this game goes. The Hoplites are doing great. Not sure who else they've traded with. Handoff again to Bromley's got plenty of space off the tackle. 40, 30, fighting a defender at the 20 and out of bounds. And just like that, you wonder with all these kind of short plodding carries, how does Bromley end up getting 200 yards last week? Just like that, kind of lulls you to sleep. And then all it takes is one defender to be out of position. And boy, does he make them pay. Vancouver inside the red zone now. Shotgun set. Huntington getting pressured, just throwing it away. Smart, savvy, veteran quarterback play. We've seen too many young quarterbacks taking far too many sacks here through the first 4 weeks. Guys like Huntington saying, no, live to fight another play. 2nd and 10, getting pressured again. He's running it to the 10. Gets the first down. Glenn Huntington showing a little bit of wheels, which he is definitely not known for. But he is a pocket passer personified, but he is doing anything and everything to help this team get wins. He wants to stick somewhere. Checking it down. Bromley fighting forward around the 5. See, they're getting after it. Chippy on the offensive defensive line. 2nd and goal from around the 6-yard line. Huntington feeling the pressure, throwing it away. Smart move again. No receivers out there, so he's got to make sure it's well outside. He was out of the pocket. Going empty here on 3rd and goal. Got a bunch spread out past the hash on his right. And 2 to his left. Huntington looking, fires. Touchdown again! Nick Graham pouring himself a sip and taking a bow. Nick Graham, unheralded receiver out of Michigan, making a tough catch, taking the hit. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. That's what they say about Nick Graham. And just like that, a strong 9-play, 75-yard drive for the Mammoth. They're back on top with 6:17 left to play in the first half here on Throwdown Thursday night on the Rivals Broadcast Network. You're watching Football Rivals Pro 26. Nice return there out past the 25-yard line. The Rain have got to do something on this drive. George Burrell taking one last chance to confirm the play call here. Only 25 yards, 8 through the air for the Rain so far. Not a good look for the offense. As Brown getting the carry again.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3. Got the completion for the first down. Every bit helps right now. It's Thomas Murphy, their versatile tight end, making the catch there. He is a captain of this team, just like George Burrell. Taking the handoff, running out of the pocket, just throwing it away. Burrell, like we said, the league's leading rusher at the quarterback position so far through these first 3.5 weeks. See if he takes off any more tonight. 2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Hands off to Brown. Cutting back against the grain, only getting 3 there. 3rd and a tough 7. They're still on their side of the field, 42-ish yard line. Looking, fires, he's got him short of the sticks, and that's how it's gonna stay. Finch coming down, making the hit. Ooh, and they're gonna go for it. Ben Finch made a great stop there, but 4th and 1, Rain, incomplete. Oh man, Roman Griffin blowing up the play there. The Rain cannot catch a break. What is wrong with this team? Here comes Bromley again. Looking good so far. Again, those are season stats. He does not have 340 yards rushing tonight. But he has a healthy chunk. Under center, hand it off. He's finding space. Through that gap, getting 3 yards. They're probably going to try to really milk the clock here on this drive, see if they can get in at least field goal range. 2nd and 7, see if they run it again. They do. Cutting it too far wide, not getting enough there, only 2 yards at best, maybe 1.5. Going to lead them with a 3rd and 5. Still going to have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. Bromley looking a little bit winded there. Huntington getting pressured, fires it over the middle, and that's Brett Branch complete for a big 1st down conversion, which is going to let them really use up a lot of the clock left here in the 1st half. Coach Ward going to take every extra second he can here, make sure they know what they're doing. Communicating with Glenn Huntington, and they are now going empty set. Nice change of pace there. He's looking, got time. Pocket holding up, but he gets his arm hit as he lets it go. Looks like he was just trying to throw it out of bounds anyways. I think Huntington had that spidey sense that the pressure was bearing down. He just had to get rid of it instead of take the sack. They're at the edge of field goal range here. They do not want to give up any yards. Huntington looking complete, 1st down, and then just a yard or so more. Huntington, 150, 2 tutties, and an INT here in the 1st half. That projects pretty nicely to 4 quarters. Let's still see how he plays it out. Throws it in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Brett Branch. Just like that, Huntington fires one in the 5-hole. Man, oh, that's real close. Real close by Brett Branch. See if they take a look at that. Yep. Maybe a little too close. But what a pass from Glenn Huntington. Oh, it's so tough. Do they call it just toes? If it's toes, he's in. But if you're counting the heel there, oof. I don't know, and the back judge is right there. Let's see what they do. They're going to let it stand. That is the 3rd touchdown pass here in the 1st half for Glenn Huntington. What a start to this game. Vancouver now jumping out to a big 21-7 lead. Coach Ward loving that. Dapping up his guys. Mammoth, not to be taken lightly. There's still plenty of time for the Rain to get back into this, but Vancouver is looking strong to start this game. Your boy Skip passed on the peanut butter crackers tonight, but I do have a little bit of diet soda here. Burrell getting 9 yards on the carry, but they need to be throwing it right now, not running it. They're in hurry-up mode. Checking it down, and he gets out of bounds at least. With the 1st, so you got to take it. And they're just going to keep passing for the rest of this drive. Fires it. Oh, man. It's Grant again, not able to hold on to one. Burrell's hit quite a few receivers over the middle, right in the hands, and they are dropping them. They're just maybe hear the footsteps coming from the Mammoth defense. Wide open, can't drop that one. Or if you do, you might not have a job. 45 seconds, the Reign take their first timeout. They've still got 2 left here in the first. 21-7 Vancouver. It is tough hill to climb for the Reign, but they've got the ball, they've got some timeouts, and they've got a first down here around the 42-yard line. Burrell got time, feeling the pressure, he's going to take off, running up past the 50, inside the 45, and they take another timeout. Going to save that last one, I imagine. Burrell swinging, ooh, Roman Griffiths swatting that one away. Veteran defender here. Normally known as more of a run-stuffing linebacker. Oh, completion from Burrell. Hitting the tight end again. Nice catch and run by Thomas Murphy for the Reign. 22-21. Time is ticking. Burrell fires one deep. Overthrown. 16 seconds left. 16 seconds, 2nd and 10. Burrell out of the shotgun. Ooh, trying to throw it, but getting sacked by Reyes again. Reyes' 3rd sack of the night. Absolutely insane.
A loss of 6 yards.
12 seconds. They are really outside of field goal range. 3rd and 16. I think that's all they were trying to do there, is just get a little bit more room for the kicker. Tough go there. Oh no, they didn't take the timeout. What happened? Insane. They did not take the timeout. Too much confusion. The Reign have looked confused multiple times. Now the quarterback and head coach kind of looking at each other, saying, hey, who was supposed to have this one? Was it you? Was it me? Who had that? Tough go on the first half for the Reign here at home. Lucky the Boo Birds haven't shown up yet, but they might be on their way. Other than the early pick 6, it's been all Vancouver. The Reign have got to turn it back around. And speaking of turning it back around, the Reign have to kick it away. So the Mammoth have a chance here, out past the 10, up to the 20, and they're going to be stopped right there. Glenn Huntington has looked exceptional here in the first half, firing 3 touchdowns. Forget that pick 6, because he put 3 back on the board in favor of Vancouver. Hitting 2 to Nick Graham and 1 to Brenton Branch, both receivers from last year's draft class. So Coach Ward clearly was building himself quite a roster, both on offense and defense here in Vancouver, but the quarterback position was a problem, and they seem to have fixed that. And even with their star running back injured, they make a great signing off the street with Josh Bromley. Are the Mammoth a new team this year, much like another team that was not so great last year and has been outstanding this year? The Hoplites, huge completion there. Incredible. I think it was Bowens. Had to lay out for it, but he brought it in. Johnny Bowens, the veteran tight end, who's already been supplanted by Bill Armstrong. 1st and 10, Huntington sees one over the middle. That's Nick Graham again with his 5th catch on the game. 5 catches and 2 touchdowns. What a night for the former Michigan product. 1st and 10, Huntington got a bunch to the left, tight alignment, hands it off to Bromley, but they catch him in the backfield. Nice stop there. They needed that one. That was Dexter Rivers the former Virginia Beach Bomber, who is now here on a one-year deal with the Reign. Empty set, 2nd and 11. Huntington getting flushed, throws it, but incomplete. Looked more like Bretton Branch leaped for a ball that was already headed out of bounds. 3rd and 11. Fires it, almost intercepted. Glenn Huntington may be feeling a little too fine as he is taking some risks now. They're just going to try to pin him back deep here, have a very comfortable lead. And the Reign's offense not giving them much to be worried about so far. But it goes out of the back of the end zone. They're going to get the ball at the 20. George, can you do anything? So far, all he's really been able to do is take a beating at the hands of Taylor Reyes in the Mammoth pass rush. The line not doing him any favors. Receivers not doing him any favors. George Burrell, one of the most talented quarterbacks in this league. And he is not looking like it tonight. Play action, but he's swarmed again. They're going to give somebody else the credit that time, but believe you me, Taylor Reyes was right in there with it. Let me give Brandon Peterson, defensive end out of Notre Dame, the credit for that bag. 2nd and 17. Checking it down. Not good. Not good enough. Not good enough. Thomas Murphy going in motion out to the boundary. Burrell stepping up, climbing the ladder, gets a completion. And that was Murphy. So they motioned him out to the edge, and then he ran a deep in, cutting across the field. Getting a big, important completion there. And Burrell, again, has to climb a very messy pocket. Got a feel for George Burrell tonight. This season has not gone their way, and it's not really his fault. Ooh. Boy, did this Mammoth defense know how to hit. Burrell looking, chucking it as he's hit. Getting a completion there. Trying to find space, cannot find it. 4th and inches. Wow.
Tackle made at his 48-yard line. A gain of only a yard. It's 4th down.
And they're gonna punt it this time. A little too much to ask, I guess. Being down this much. Takes a Vancouver bounce on the punt there. Glenn Huntington looked great so far in this game. Finding receivers in the front of the end zone, the back of the end zone, the side of the end zone. He is hitting his marks. A lot of people weren't sure what to think of Glenn Huntington. Had a very tough year with the Hoplites last year. No fault of his own. He was one of the bright spots on a team that only got one win. They had so many injuries that they basically had a whole regime change, and the new regime said, hey, nothing personal, but we're going to move on from you. They drafted a rookie quarterback, flip him to a different team. That team trades him before the start of the season. Was everybody out on Glenn? No, not everybody. Coach Aaron Ward laying in wait, and it's really worked out well so far. And more importantly, he's got several years left on his deal. 3rd and 7. Flushed out of the pocket, firing. Oh! Between two receivers there. May have just been getting a little bit trigger happy. A rare miss tonight for Glenn Huntington. He did have, looked like kind of two receivers both beating their coverage, but threw it in between them. Punt is off, past the 50, past the 40. inside the 30. Nice return. No. Brought down around the 35. Only about 4 or 5 yards on the return. .6:01 left here in the third on Throwdown Thursday night. George Burrell in the rain, 1st and 10, down 21-7. Play action fake. Burrell throws it. Rocked as he throws. Not good enough. Not good enough. Second and 10. Burrell looking. Hit again as he throws it. Almost caught. It was Keegan Grant, who's dropped a couple already tonight, so I guess they didn't have to be that worried about it. 3rd and 10. Throwing it deep and intercepted. Sticky picky. The Mammoth, Jalen Huggins, from the safety spot. Really putting the pressure on Burrell now. Threw it into double coverage. The receiver didn't really have a chance. Tough spot. Very tough spot for George Burrell. Meanwhile, Huntington under center, sending the receiver out to the perimeter, throws it away, too much pressure. Huntington doing the one thing Burrell has not been able to do tonight, throwing the ball away before taking the sack. 2nd and 10, hands off to Bromley, who gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage. This defense has done a pretty good job shutting down Bromley in the run game. He's had a couple, 1 or 2 big ones break out. Otherwise, they've been able to more or less neutralize him, or on a play like that, even stop him in the backfield a handful of times. Guys like Dexter Edison coming up from the linebacker spot. Huntington trying to rifle it in there from 3rd and 13. Could not let that one land. You can see he's frustrated. Had a great first half. Kind of hit a little bit of a snag here in the 3rd quarter, but they've still got a healthy lead. So Coach Ward saying we're going to boot this one away.
The Chargers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Not sure what to say about George Burrell so far tonight. Tough sledding. Marlon Brown trying to get it up the gut. Cannot do it. Cameron Wembley making the stop there after only about 3 yards. Only 66 total offensive yards for the Rain tonight. Incredible. Oh, the pressure again. Getting there. Nobody getting open. That's a coverage sack plus some pressure.
A 7-yard loss.
Right up the gut, and now they're looking at 3rd and 14. They've only had 1 3rd down conversion. And the pressure in his face again, hits a receiver in the hands, and he bobbles it. Insane. Reyes would have had his 4th sack, I think, on the night. Burrell got to be incredulous at this point. Cannot get any pass protection. Even while getting rocked, delivers a money ball to his receiver who's wide open and muffs it. Just a real ugly start for the Rain. .25 left here in the 3rd as Huntington hands off to Bromley. Gets it up for 5 yards to around the 50-yard line. They hand it off again, getting 2 more. It's going to be 3rd and 3. Got a pistol look here for Huntington and the Mammoth. Mancuso goes out on a short route. Instead, he hits Graham again. He's trying to point for blockers, but he doesn't have any. But it looked cool. Graham having himself a night. I think that's 6 catches now, around 70 yards for Nick Graham and 2 touchdowns. It's not the tallest, not the fastest, but he has got moxie, swag, it factor, whatever you want to call it. Nick Graham has got it. And they've got a 1st and 10 inside the 30. Play action, looking deep but throwing short. That was Bretton Branch actually losing a yard. Would have been better off with the incompletion, but I'm sure Glenn likes the completion for his stat and QBR. 2nd and 11, shotgun. Hands off to Bromley out of the shotgun, trying to make a man miss. He cannot. It's Dexter Edison. He doesn't miss many tackles. Again, that's what's so interesting about the Reign having such a tough start. They've got so many talented players on this team, and they still manage to come out flat in all of these games. Oh, and there's an interception. Huntington turning it over, throwing into traffic as if on cue. Huntington not happy about that one. Looks like there was a miscommunication. And right after I was talking about Dexter Edison, he plucks that sticky picky. That's what I'm saying. The Reign have so many individually talented players, but somehow cannot get it together as a team. Gotta wonder if that starts to put a hot seat under head coach GM Thomas Peters. And 13 and 4 for the Reign last year, but now we're heading into 4th quarter here on Throwdown Thursday night. Seeing questions, when do they start sharp? I don't think that happens. I think they're more likely to have a coaching change before starting somebody over George Burrell. As we've seen here tonight, it's not really Burrell's fault. Offensive line just giving up all the pass rush, receivers dropping balls. Burrell can only do so much. Flushed out. Oh, and now he throws an interception. It's the veteran Griffith. To the 20, the 10, 5, sneaking it in. Touchdown, pick 6, return serve by the veteran. Roman Griffith has been having a fantastic night tonight. Man, Roman Griffith just plucking that one right out of the air. This guy wasn't even sure if he was coming back this season. An 11-year vet, 33 years old. Thought he might be done, but came back for one more. Get those bonus credits in. The commish is offering them up. The Reign wishing they could get some bonus credits, but they do not. George Burrell still trying to mount something here. Like we said, he's just had no support. Sure, he's forced a couple errant throws, but at this point, I mean, what else would you expect? He's trying to win the game all by himself, and now they're down 28-7. And backed up to around their own 10.5-yard line. 1st and 10. Burrell trying to make this respectable. Flushing out of the pocket. Brought down for another sack. He might have walked into that one, but no receivers are open. Peterson getting another sack. I think that technically was only a half a sack he was attributed with earlier. So that makes it 1.5 sacks for Brandon Peterson. Bringing his own bag. And so far, the bag man of the night is definitely Taylor Reyes. Burrell getting a little bit of it back, saying, yes, we're halfway to a 1st down. And we've only had one third down conversion, so let's make it 2. 3rd and 8, empty formation. Burrell, not much time. Escape in the pocket, completes it, but it is still short of the sticks. Throw it all the way back across the field because that's the only guy open, and it's Keegan Grant who's had more drops than catches so far tonight, and they're going to have to punt it away again. Return from the 30, brought down around the 36. Ooh, he might be hurt, coming up slow on that one. Not happy, but refusing to go into that medical tent, trying to shake it off. Saw getting a little support from Jaden Moore there. Hand off to Bromley. You know they're going to try to start milking some clock here. Dexter Edison, one of the only bright spots for the Reign tonight on defense. And that big interception just a little bit ago, and it's had a couple tackles for loss. Bromley powering forward here, locomotive type of leg work. Nowhere near his 200-yard effort from last week, but right now that's not what they need. They are in command of this thing, just looking to put a bow on it. 3rd and 6, hand it off again, fighting forward but cannot get there. They're going to punt it away in return. Hopefully it's not just a punt fest from here on out, but time will tell. As you know, your boy Skip Lloyd loves saying, time will tell. They go for it on 4th, they don't get it. Unbelievable, trying to give it to Mancuso, the rookie. He's arguing that he got it. The refs are saying, nuh-uh, you didn't get it. You're denied. And he makes a great second effort move there to even get close. But just cannot get there. The Reign finally catching a break. But can they do anything with it? We'll find out. Already behind enemy lines. 1st and 10. Burrell throwing it deep. And incomplete. Could not hold on. It's Keegan Grant again getting his hands on it, but not bringing it in. Tough. 2nd and 10. Hits Grant this time. Holds on. Seems like every 1 out of 3 he's catching. Burrell, 3rd and 1, going deep, and it's incomplete. Why? Just go for the short there and get the 1st down. Instead, now you're looking at a 4th and long 1 yard here. Out of the shotgun, not going to hand it off. He's got Murphy wide open. He's not going to get it to him. He's going to run it instead and just barely gets the 1st down. Yeah, here are the Blue Birds now. Home cooking, not quite. Burrell throwing it, checking it down. 8-yard pickup there. He's looking, checks it down again. It's Murphy this time, short of the 20, around the 21, 22. We're going to say 21. We've got 8:10 left in this game. George Burrell trying to make it something. Yikes. Griffith was looking for another pick 6. Disrupting that play in the flat. Burrell again, checking it down. Not much, 1 yard there. They are looking winded. The Reign sluggish at this point. Burrell fires one. Oh, had him open, but puts it too far in front of him. Burrell must just be exhausted at this point. 4th and 9. They're going for it. Why wouldn't they? And unsurprisingly, hits a receiver and he can't hold on. Wow. Unreal. George Burrell cannot catch a break tonight. He could have walked up and put it in his hands and he still would have dropped it. Bromley fighting forward for 4. Watch them really try to use this clock here. Not even set before 10 seconds. Glenn pointing out a linebacker. Snapping with 5 left on the play clock. Bromley fighting forward for the first down. That is going to tick, tick, tick more clock away. Still not even getting set till about 6 or 5 seconds left. Up the gut, it's Mancuso, finds space, makes the first man miss. Big chunk run there by the rookie. Rain really starting to look gassed and defeated as Vancouver is starting to pound the rock here. Bromley cutting it outside, but there's a flag. Looks like it's going to come back on a hold. First and 19 from the 45. Mancuso trying to hit the hole, but not getting much out of it. Second and 17, but that clock is going to keep running. Did they pass it here? Nope. Another run, but not going anywhere that time. 3rd and 16. Maybe they should have worked a pass in. It's Chris St. Louis making the tackle there. 3rd and 16. Will they keep running it? They do. Bromley makes a man miss, but never going to get anywhere near the yardsticks there. Rain trying to find something to celebrate. Ellis happy he made the tackle, but yeah, absolutely. Mammoth only having 28 is a crime. I'll agree with that. Should have a lot more, but Mammoth going to punt it away here from the Reigns 46. Try to paint the corner. Oh, and he does. Great punt. Looks like it's inside the 10. See where they actually mark it. Yeah, right at the 9. Wow. Burrell, 1st and 10. Checking it down at this point. He does not want to take another sack, that's for sure. Burrell just crossing the 100-yard threshold for passing tonight. Rough outing. Firing it complete to Murphy again. Telling him to find the sticks, find the first down marker. 3 minutes left in this game. And just short of the first down, pick up a 9 there. Burrell flushed out, just throwing it away. Does not want to take another sack. Shotgun set. Burrell looking, throwing it. Almost. Trying to hit Presley, who they traded for. He's just back from injury. 4th and inches, they're going to go for it. Burrell got receivers, first down, complete. Now they got to hurry, hurry, hurry. Not like they'll ever get 3 touchdowns here, but trying to get 1 or 2 maybe. Firing it, complete. He's streaking down the sideline. 20, 10, 5. There you go. Touchdown, Los Angeles. They're not going to win it, but Broderick James, the rookie, making a nice play on the house call there. Broderick James, their rookie out of Ole Miss. 3rd round draft pick. Now at least a little bit more respectable as long as the Mammoth can stay off the scoreboard. That is a nice drive, though. Finally, something to feel good about. 91-yard drive for the touchdown. Obviously, a big part of that was the chunk pass. Oh, here comes the onside. Yuck. No one likes that. Always they have a chance, but it's snuffed out by who else? Nick Graham. Johnny on the spot. Nicky on the spot. Thomas Peters. Don't know who he's growling at into his headset, but he does not look happy. Meanwhile, Coach Ward just wants to finish this one out and get to a 500 record. Glenn Huntington, a very nice night tonight. 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great outing for Glenn Huntington. Hands it off to Bromley, which is probably how they're going to wrap this game up. Coach Peters not looking happy as he patrols the sideline there. We are very close to the 2-minute warning here in this game. But the Rain chose to take a timeout. Stopping him again, calling another timeout. Third and 8. Looks like they're just going to run it one more time. Oh, and Bromley's got space. 40, 30, shakes off a man and down to around the 20. Huge play by Josh Bromley. It's exactly what he does. Lulls you to sleep and then makes a monster run. Really putting the game away right there. Huge play for the Mammoth to close this one out. And take a few knees and they can call it night-night. But they're going shotgun instead. And they're going to throw it. Huntington got time. Unbelievable. Hits Josh Bromley for the touchdown on the clear-out route by the halfback after he makes a monster run. He leaks out and gets a walk-in touchdown into the end zone. Glenn Huntington with his 4th touchdown pass on the night. Looks like he's coming in around 259 yards passing with a 56-yard long tonight. Huge game for Glenn Huntington. Mammoth are going to win this one in style. Wow. Your boy Glenn looking good. Two-minute warning has elapsed, and they've only got one timeout left, so we'll see what the Rain try to do here. Get your wow bonus in. George Burrell climbing the pocket and throwing it away. Yikes. Reyes was hungry for another sack. I think he's technically being credited with 3.5 so far. Burrell rifles one. No, incomplete. Who else? Man, you gotta reduce Keegan Grant's snap count next week. He is making George Burrell look pitiful. Burrell throws it again. Complete to Thomas Murphy. The only sure-handed receiver is the tight end on this team tonight. There's been no peanut butter crackers in the booth tonight, but it's still been an offensive output. Burrell checking it down. It's Broderick James. Not using the timeout yet. 2nd and 3. Sending Brown in motion. Burrell rifling it. Complete down the sideline. Finally, a receiver who could hold on to the ball. That was Donald Wilder out of Texas Tech. Burrell looking deep again, but throwing it short. And of course, incomplete. Donald Wilder, another rookie. So quite a young receiver room for the Rain. Look out. No fly zone. 3rd and 10, 52 seconds left in this game. Burrell getting flushed, throws it. Just throws it away. Understandable, George. George was a king last season, but he might be a pauper this one. Wow, they're just going to punt it away. Brutal. And the ref catches that one. Josh Bromley, great night. Probably wishes he had one on the ground, but he got one through the air, so he's had himself quite the solid outing, and that's going to do it. Yeah, Glenn Huntington going to take the knee and take this one back home just like that. The Rain have had their parade rained out by the Mammoth. 35-14, big win for Glenn Huntington and the Mammoth, who've now won 2 in a row with both games high-scoring offensive output, 35-plus points in back-to-back games. Seems like the Mammoth starting to hit a stride on offense, and meanwhile, who knows where it goes? For Los Angeles, Thomas Peters better get the ship righted, or he may no longer be the captain as head coach and GM. Taylor Reyes, bagman of the night. The Skip Lloyd bagman. You've been watching Throwdown Thursday night from here in Los Angeles. It's your boy Skip Lloyd saying we'll see you next time.